Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Alhamdulillah, we've reached Al-Hadith Al-Hadi Ashar, the 11th Hadith. عن أبي محمد الحسن بن علي بن أبي طالب سبط رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وريحانته رضي الله عنهما قال حفظت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دع ما يريبك إلا ما لا يريبك رواه الترمذي والنسائي وقال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح. This hadith an Abi Muhammad. As we said, Abu becomes Abi after an. Muhammad mudaf ilay. Al-Hasani, Hasan is majroor as a badal for Abi after an. Al-Hasan ibn, this is mudaf ilay, the son of Ali. Or rather, Ibn, Asif Ibn is a badal for Hassan, as I could say Ibn Ali and skip Hassan, right? And Ibn Ali is mudaf ilay. And then Ibn again is a badal for Ali, right? Ibn Abi, mudaf ilay, Talib, mudaf ilay, right? And Abi Muhammad Al-Hasan ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib Sibti Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sibti again is majroor here because of being a badal for Abi. Right? Sibt is the grandson, but from the daughter. In English, we don't really have these differences. We don't really use the difference too much between paternal uncle and maternal uncle. Whereas in Arabic we have am and khal and amma and khala. In English we don't really separate between the uncle on the mother's side and uncle on the father's side. They're your uncle or they're your aunt. The same thing goes with grandson, and maybe even more so if it's from your mother, or if it's from your daughter, your son, or your grandson. In Arabic, if the grandchild or grandson is from the daughter, it's the sibt. This sibt. If it's from the son, then it's hafid. Hafid, right? If it's from the son. So Sibti Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Abu Muhammad Al-Hasan ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib is talking about the grandson of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Wa rayhanatihi. Rayhana comes from ra, waw, ha, like the word ruh. Here it means rayhana is a nice smelling plant. You know, like basil or something like that, a nice smelling plant. And Al-Hasan ibn Ali is known as Rayhanati Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this nice smelling, because of his soft and pleasure and the joy he brings to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So it's kind of a nickname, a laqab for him, that he's the plant, the nice smelling plant of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Alright, this hadith from an Abi Muhammad Al-Hasan ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib Sibti Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the grandson of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, wa rayhanatihi. And in Fawzan, the translation of the 40 hadith that they did by Fawzan, they translated that as his heartfelt. is heartfelt, which is really strange to me, right? Because inside the explanation, Sheikh Fawzan goes to say what ar-rayhana means, and it is a flower with a pleasant scent. So why they translate it as heartfelt, Allah knows best. Ala kulli hal, in any matter, qala al-Hasan, قال حفظت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. حفظت, I memorized. حفظ يحفظ, حفظ يحفظ, حفظت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I memorized from the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم. دع ما يريبك. دع from ودع يدعو. Right? Look it up under waw dal ain. Wada'a yada'u. Da meaning to leave, to abandon, to leave it alone. Da ma yaribuk. Da ma yaribuk meaning the ma here means what? It's not a negation, it's a what. Yaribuk from the word raib. Right? Meaning doubt, like we said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is the book, there is no doubt in it. There is no doubt in it. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, guidance for the muttaqeen. دَعْ مَا يَرِيبُكَ, leave that which makes you doubt. يَرِيبُكَ. يَرِيبُكَ is the verb. Raib is the noun. Raib is doubt. Yarib is to make something doubt. Right? Ma yaribuk. Leave what makes you doubt. Illa ma la yaribuk. To what doesn't make you doubt. Ma la yaribuk. To what la yaribuk. Doesn't make you doubt. So leave that which makes you doubt for that which doesn't make you doubt. Meaning you have two matters. Is, for instance, this is just an example, is, trying to think of something, this food here, is it haram or halal? Right? Is it haram or halal? You don't know if it's which one it is. So, if you were to leave it because you know you don't have to eat it, I have no doubt that it is not obligatory upon me to eat it, right? And I doubt that I can eat it, then I'm going to leave which makes me doubt for that which doesn't make me doubt. For instance, I have two restaurants. I know one's halal, one's not. Example. Rawahu at-Tirmidhi. At-Tirmidhi narrated it when Nasai, as well as Nasai. Qala at-Tirmidhi. At-Tirmidhi, he said, Hadithun Hasanun Sahih. He said this hadith is Hasan Sahih in its grading. Right? Are there any questions? Everybody's got their mic off, so I guess not.
What you say, Sipti was, Akhi?
Sibt's grandson. No. Okay. Abu Tahir. اقرأ لنا.
عن أبي محمد الحسن ابن علي ابن أبي طالب سبتي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وريحانته رضي الله عنهما قال حفظت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك رواه الترمذي والنسائي وقال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح.
نعم الله يبارك فيك يا أمير.
And Abi Muhammad al-Hassan ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib Sibti Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam وريحانته رضي الله عنه قال حفظت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم تعالى ربيبك إلى ما لا ربي يربك رواه الترمذي والنسائي وقال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح.
Amr or Haris or Zubair, you guys want to read? Open your mics. Amr left, huh? Zubair.
عن أبي محمد الحسن بن علي بن أبي طالب سبط رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وريحانته رضي الله عنهما قال حفظت من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك رواه الترمذي والنسائي وقال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح.
نعم. جزاكم الله خيرا. الحديث الذي بعد, the hadith which comes after it, الحديث الثاني عشر, the 12th hadith. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه حديث حسن رواه الترمذي وغيره. This 12th hadith عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. It says Abi, we know Abu becomes Abi after the harf al-jar an, and Hurayrata, this is mudaf ilay, and it's majroor with a fatha because it's mamnu min as-sarf, meaning it does not take tanween and it doesn't take a kasra. It's mamnu min as-sarf. Alright? So, an Abi Hurayrata radiyallahu anhu qala qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. On the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, who said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Min husni Islam al-mar. Min, from. Husni is from the good, or it could be translated in many ways, from the good of the Islam of a man. Sometimes they translate it as from the perfection, right? From the excellence, right? That's for husn Islam, from the good of the Islam of a man. As we said, al-mar is a man. This way you have al-mar'ah, or woman, right? We have imri'un, as in the first hadith on the niyyah, and we have imra'ah for female, right? But whenever we add an alif lam to these, then we drop our first alif, right? We don't say al imri'un or al imra'ah, we say al mar'a and al mar. So, min husni Islam al mar, from the good or the excellence of a man's Islam, from the good, the perfection, the excellence of a man's Islam. Tarkuhu, from taraka yatruku, tarkuhu, his abandoning, his leaving, ma, what, la ya'ni, doesn't or isn't. This is this la, a negation, ya'ni, from ayn, noon, alif, right? Ayn, noon, alif. meaning to take care of and to be concerned with. A lot of times you might see on the front of a book, Tana Bihi, and then the name, meaning he's not the author, the one who, for instance, the book, for example, most of the time will be a lecture originally, a lecture that someone gave, and then this person here that is written under Tanabi is the one who had it transcribed and went and he put the ayat through and the hadith through it and he edited it and he did all that and he gave it to the sheikh and told him look at it before they print it. Tanabi means the one who took care of the book, who was concerned with producing the book. Right? This is the concern. So, tarkuhu ma la ya'ni, his leaving that which is not concerning him. His leaving that which does not concern him. Hadithun Hasan, the hadith is Hasan. Rawahu at-Tirmidhi wa ghayruhu. It's narrated by Tirmidhi and other than him. Any questions? أبا طاهر.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعني. حديث حسن رواه الترمذي وغيره.
No. Just real quick before the next person. This Husni is majroor after min, right? Husni al-Islam. Islam is majroor because it's mudaf ilayh, the good of the Islam. And Islam doesn't have the alif lam on it that we normally see. Why? Because it's mudaf. And the mudaf is definite already due to its position and it does not take the alif lam, right? So Islam al-Mar. And this prevents the, for instance, making, if we had al-Islam al-Mar like this, it would make this look like an adjective, right? Al-Mar al-Islam, the manly Islam or something like that, right? But that's not the case. So the removal of the alif lam protects it from the word following it looking like a knot. Otherwise, they would look exactly the same. So this is mudaf ilay and this is mudaf ilay. Barakallahu feekum. Amr or Zubair. Amr.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه حديث حسن رواه الترمذي وغيره هكذا.
طيب أمير.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه حديث حسن رواه الترمذي وغيره.
طيب Zubair. Oh, he's busy. Zubair might be busy. طيب. الحديث الثالث عشر عن أبي حمزة أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه خادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه رواه البخاري ومسلم. This 13th hadith عن أبي حمزة. Hamza, as we see here, is mamnoon min as-sarf because Abi Hamza is mudaf ilayh. So Hamza, and this is feminine names or feminine names that look like it. Fatima, Aisha, Khadija, Zainab, Ruqayya, they're all going to be mamnu' min as-sarf. Right? This Hamza, even though it's a male, it has a female look to it due to the Hamza. So it's mamnu' min as-sarf. It doesn't take kasr nor tanween. It's majroor with a fatha. And Abi Hamzata, Anas ibn Malik. And Anas here is a badal for Abi, so it's majroor, right? Ibn is a badal for Anas, which is a badal for Abi, so it's majroor after An. And Malik is mudaf ilay, right? So we could say An Abi Hamza, or we could say An Anas, or we could say An Ibn Malik, radiyallahu anhu. Or we could say An Khadimi Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, on the Khadam, Kha Dal Mim, which is servant. Khadim is the servant. You know, people have butlers and maids. These are khudama. These are khadams, right? The servant of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. If I'm not mistaken, used to carry the shoes and the miswak of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He used to be concerned with them like during his wudu. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Let me see. See if it says here what it was. It doesn't say here what it is. Anyway, خادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يؤمن أحدكم. لا يؤمن, he doesn't believe. أحدكم, one of you. أحدكم, doesn't believe. One of you. Ahad is one. Kum is you. One of you doesn't believe. Hatta, until. Yuhibba, he loves. Yuhibba mansub after hatta. It takes a fatha. Yuhibba li akhihi ma yuhibbu li nafsi. Until he loves li akhihi, for his brother. Li akhihi, for his brother. From akh, right? Akhihi. Whenever we add, for instance, we say baiti, we can just add the ha to the word. But this akh and they're called asma'ul khamsa. There's 5 of them. Whenever we add to them, we have to add a wow or a ya or an alif. Here in its form, due to it being majroor, we add a ya. Li akhihi, to his brother. Ma yuhibbu, what he loves. Li nafsihi, for himself. So la yu'minu ahadukum, he doesn't believe. One of you doesn't believe. Hatta yuhibba li akhihi, until he loves for his brother. Ma yuhibbu li nafsi, what he loves for himself. Rawahul Bukhari wa Muslim, narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Are there any questions? Ibn Aba Tahir, Faddal.
عن أبي حمزة أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. رواه البخاري ومسلم.
نعم. جزاكم الله خير. Amir.
عن أبي حمزة الناس ابن مالك خادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه رواه Bukhari and Muslim.
Zubair, Amir, Haris, you want to join us, one of you guys? Zubair, Amir.
Can you hear me?
Naam.
Was I too loud when I was reading last time?
No.
عن أبي حمزة أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه خادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه رواه البخاري ومسلم.
طيب يا عامر.
Question. خادمي, that's from the Kasra. It's majroor because of an.
It's majroor. It's majroor after an. It's a badal for Abi Hamza. So I could say an Abi Hamza, or I could say an Anis, or I could say an Ibn Malik, or I can say an Khadimi Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So they're all badals for Abi, basically.
No. Okay. عن أبي حمزة أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه خادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه رواه البخاري ومسلم.
نعم. الله يبارك فيكم. Then we have الحديث الرابع عشر, the 14th hadith. عن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاثة الثيب زاني والنفس بالنفس والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة رواه البخاري ومسلم. الحديث الرابع عشر, the 14th hadith, عن Ibn Mas'ud. On the authority of Ibn Mas'ud, this Ibn is after An in Mas'ud mudaf mudaf ilayh, on the son of Mas'ud, right? Radiallahu anhu, qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, La yahillu, it's not permissible, yahil, from halal, La yahillu, demrimri'in, dem is blood, imri'in is man, right? But we don't just necessarily mean man, we mean person, right? It could be female or male. Muslimin, demumri'in muslimin, the blood of a Muslim man, right? Illa is not permissible. La yahillu, it's not permissible. Demumri'in muslimin, the blood of a Muslim man. Illa, except, bi ihda, bi is with, ihda is the feminine of ahad. Ihda is feminine of ahad. Ihda thalath, one of three, except for one of three. Al-thayyibu al-zani. A thayyib is a person who was married before, a legal Islamic marriage, even if they were divorced or if they're still married, or if there's a widowed, they had what was recognized in Islam as a legitimate legal marriage. If they're still married, if they're divorced, if they're widowed. Az-Zani. Az-Zani, the one who commits zina. So if that person who was married, he's not married anymore, or he is still married, or he's not married because his wife died or her husband died. If that person commits zina, then they are killed for their action. Right? وَالنَّفْسُ بِالنَّفْسِ وَالنَّفْسُ بِالنَّفْسِ, and soul for soul, and like, meaning a life for a life. If you kill someone, you are to be killed. That's the Islamic punishment. This yuhillu damri min Muslim, meaning is not permissible to spill the blood of a Muslim, meaning to kill him, except in one of these three. And we know that there are more than these three, but the Prophet ﷺ emphasized these three in this hadith. But there are other hadith which talk about the permissibility of killing them, right? But these three are mentioned in this hadith. So the first one, a-Thayyib az-Zani, the one who was married before or is still married in Islamic legal marriage, they commit zina. A-Nafsu bi-Nafs, you kill someone, therefore you're killed. Wa-Tariku li-Dinihi. Here we just had the word tarkuhu ma la yani. Tariq meaning the one who left, the one who abandoned. Lidinihi, he left his religion. Al-Mufariqu lil-Jama'a. Al-Mufariqu is similar to a-Tariqu here, meaning he separated from. Here is abandoned. A-Tariq is abandoned. Al-Mufariqu means he separated from, which is to leave something. Lil-Jama'a. He leaves the Jama'ah, he leaves the group of Muslims. That person, Tarikul lidinihi, al-Mufariqul lil-Jama'ah, the one who separates and leaves the religion and the group of Muslims and doesn't want to do anything to do with them anymore, doesn't know anything to do with the deen or the Muslims, and this person, his blood is permissible for us. Rawahu Bukhari wa Muslim, narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Any questions?
What did you say Thayyib means?
A Thayyib is any person who had an Islamic or had a legally recognized marriage. Even if that marriage was from before they accepted Islam, and then when they entered Islam, that marriage continued, such as a husband and wife who accepted Islam at the same time or whatever. Then this is a Thayyib. So if they have a marriage, even if they're not married anymore, but they had a recognized marriage in Islam, if they commit zina, they're killed. Unlike the virgin, right? Or, for instance, a zani. A virgin commits zina, we lash him, right? Or her. And if that person commits zina again, they lash him or her again because they never had a legal marriage. But if they were married and they divorced or widowed, or if they're still married and they do zina, then we kill them by stoning them. Any questions?
Is that linguistically how you explained it, or Sharia meaning?
Now, Sharia meaning, the meaning in Islam.
Sharia, no.
No. Let me see here.
What about the linguistic? Thayyib.
Thayyib. Linguistically, I don't know. Give me a second here. Thayyib. Let's see if we have it.
Because it's like thawb. Thiyab.
Right. Well, it comes from tha ya ba, not thob. It's not tha
Okay.
wa ba sta ya ba. Only thing it says here, and this one is a deflowered but unmarried woman, widow, or divorcee. Right. So that's what it says in the Hans Ware. And that's all it has. It doesn't have anything else, no other derivatives or anything like that. All right. امرأة فقدت زوجها بموت أو طلاق امرأة متزوجة. Yeah, it's all it's saying. It's not even inside the dictionary. It's just saying the same thing.
Okay.
So, okay, here Fozan says in his English translation here, it says, the second, the thayyibah that commits illegal sexual intercourse. The thayyib is the one who has had sexual intercourse with his wife, whether Muslim or a free non-Muslim under Muslim rule inside a legally sound marriage. Thus, he becomes a muhsin, a married person by that marriage. If he commits illegal sexual intercourse after that marriage, he becomes from those who spread evil on the earth, for he infringed on the sanctity of honor of the one who has tasted marriage. No excuse for his transgression. Blah blah. It goes on more about the crime more than about the thayyib itself, right? But the thayyib, Islamically for sure, it means the one who has been married with sound Islamic marriage, and probably shar'i, from what it looks like in the definition here, it doesn't matter like a sound Islamic marriage. You know, it just says the one who has been deflowered, meaning has had sexual intercourse with her husband, right? And of course it's also for the man, and widowed or divorced. But Islam is going to distinguish between the one who has never been married and the one who's been married. So that's probably the shar'i aspect of it, if you understand that.
No.
Okay, read for us, Amir.
عن أبي مسعود عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاث الثيب الزاني والنفس بالنفس والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة رواه البخاري ومسلم.
No. Yalla, Aba Tahir.
عن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاث الثيب الزاني والنفس بالنفس والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة رواه البخاري ومسلم.
No. Here it says, also giving us, this is from Abdul Karim al-Khudair, rahimahullah. He says here that meaning by the sound Islamic marriage, right? Meaning if a person had a batil marriage, if they had a contract and that contract was batil, and so they were separated, even if they had had sexual intercourse. They had what they thought was a marriage, but they did it in the wrong way for whatever reasons that make it batil. For instance, no wali, or with bad conditions or whatever made the marriage contract batil. If they were separated and they're no longer married and they did zina, then they're not a thayyib. Why? Because that marriage was not Islamically recognized. If they had a batil marriage that wasn't recognized by Islam, right? But if it was recognized, even if they had only had sex one time, and then they were divorced or widowed or cheated, say the next day or whatever, right? Then this person is the thayyib and they will be killed. Amir.
عن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دهم ري إن مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاث الثيب الزاني والنفس بالنفس والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة رواه البخاري ومسلم.
طيب زبير أبو طاهر. زبير.
عن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى ثلاث الثيب زاني والنفس بالنفس وتارك لدينه المفارق للجماع رواه البخاري ومسلم.
نعم.
Abu Muawiyah. Abu
نعم.
Muawiyah. What is al-muhsin with a sad?
Muhsin. It's muhsan. Muhsan with a fatha on the sin. On the sad. It's muhsan, meaning someone who is married. Muhsan.
Okay.
Or muhsanat, like when it talks about the believing woman being muhsanat, like one of the qualities when we talk about marrying Christian women and men, right? Or not Christian men, but Christian women. A man wants to marry a Christian woman. Is she muhsan, right? Is she a virgin? Is she righteous? Does she believe that she can't have, boyfriends and girlfriends in her religion? Is she chaste? I think that's how they translate it usually, is chaste, right? Someone who is chaste or chaste. Muhsan here, though, it means someone who is they are married through halal means. They do the action of marriage through halal means. Muhsan with a fatha on the side.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
وإياكم. طيب. Abu Tahir, are you with us or are you coughing too much? Did you already read?
No.
You already read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm lost. I'm lost.
No problem.
Hadith al-Khamis Ashar. The 15th Hadith. I'm going to get rid of that Khamis Ashar so we have the bottom line on the page, at least on my screen. Whatever. An Abi Hurayrata radiyallahu anhu. I tell you, man, I'm going to have to do something about this PDF, man. Okay. Oh, see, now I went too far. An Abi Hurayrata radiyallahu anhu أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم. From Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر, whoever, kana, this is was or did, yu'min billahi, whoever believed in Allah. But it technically in Arabic is whoever did believe, but at the same time, right, we translate it as believes. Whoever believes in Allah, wal yawm al-akhir, and the last day, right? Billahi after the bi, wal yawm al-akhir after the bi, right? Whoever believes in Allah and the last day. فَلْيَقُولْ, fa is so or therefore. The lam is the lam of like amr, right? Command. The lam of amr, command. This is why the yaqul is majzoom. When we have the command, la tajlis, we have something telling us, ordering us to do something or not do something, it becomes majzoom, right? So yaqulu becomes yaqul with a sukoon on the lam, and we got a unwritten sukoon on the waw, so we can't have two sakin letters next to each other, so we get rid of the waw because it's weak, and we say yaqul. Yaqul, so let him say khayran. Say what? Khayran, mansub maf'ulun bihi. Let him say good. O liyasmut, or again the lam of amr, lam of command, liyasmut. Yasmut from samt, meaning be quiet. And let him speak good or be quiet. Do you guys hear me?
Nah.
Yeah.
نعم.
Somebody's saying they can't hear. Okay. Yeah. فَلْيَقُولْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. So whoever believes in Allah on the last day, let him speak good or be silent. وَمَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Same phrase. Whoever believes in Allah on the last day, فَلْيُكْرِمْ جَارَهُ. And here we have the same lam of Amr, right? And from Karima Akrama Yukrimu, and again it's Medzum because of the lam of Amr. Then let him honor, from Akrama Yukrimu, to honor something, right? Jarahu, his neighbor. Jar is neighbor. Then let him honor his neighbor, right? وَمَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Whoever believes in Allah on the last day, same phrase. فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. Then let him honor his ضَيْف, his guest. His ضَيْف is his guest. ضَيْف, right? Duyuf, plural, right? Look it up under da, dad, ya, fa, ضَيْف, right? So, not daif, weak, but daif. So, whoever believes in Allah on the last day, فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. Let him speak good or be silent. وَمَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَلْيُكْرِمْ جَارَهُ. Then let him honor his guest. فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. Then let him honor his, يُكْرِمْ جَارَهُ, his neighbor. فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. Honor his guest. And we see jara is mansoob here, and daifa is mansoob because it's the object of the karam, of the ikram, honoring and the hosting, right? Yukram jarahu mansoob mafulun bihi in both cases. In all three, you might want to say khair wa jar wa daif. Narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Any questions?
Well,
Oh, yep. We got 5 minutes to read this hadith. Ya Akhwan. Amir, begin, inshallah.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من كان يؤمن بالله والآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت، ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم.
طيب. One more thing about the last hadith. I'm just reading Sheikh Saad al-Shitri. He brings here, right? Because I said it like this. I said whoever was married or divorced or widowed, right? But inside this marriage, they had to have had sexual intercourse, right? If they were married and divorced before they had sexual intercourse and she's still a virgin, then that does not count and she would not be considered a thayyib, right? So whoever was married and had sexual intercourse and divorced or widowed. So we want to make sure an Islamically sound marriage. So I just want to make sure I clarify that for you guys. Abu Tahir.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقول خيرا أو ليصمت ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم.
يا أمير.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم
يؤمن
يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقول خيرا أو ليصمت ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم خيرا ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم.
يا زبير أنت معنا؟ نعم.
رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم.
نعم. Allah Barak Fikum. Time's about out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Jazakallah khair for coming and visiting us hardest. Even if I don't get to hear your voice, Barakallah Fik. Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ورحمة الله وبركاته.